How are you, Matthew?
Richie Rich, what's up, man?
Well, you tell me. How's everything going down there in Disney country? What's going on down there?
Awesome. It's awesome. We got the Skills Challenge, which will be aired tonight on ESPN at 9 o'clock Eastern.
And you're a past winner of that, right? There's a banner hanging in the Matthew Hasselbeck household from that competition. Correct?
Well, I don't want to brag, Rich, but there's two of them actually, and they're not banners. They're like Tiffany trophies.
Really?
Actually.
So
yeah, they're actually pretty nice.
What were you great at? Like nailing the blue dust, the blue chalk on the targets? I mean, what was your forte?
I was great at playing the wind, Rich, because as you know, they used to do that in Hawaii on the beach, or they're on the beach in Santa Monica, by the pier there. So, tough conditions usually, but these guys today, they nailed it. I mean, I don't want to give any secrets away, but there's some young guns in this competition. Plus, they made the competition a lot more fun. There's kickers involved, there's receivers, there's defensive linemen, linebackers.
Okay.
Patrick Peterson, no surprise, great athlete. He does well. So should be fun to watch. 9 o'clock tonight. Epic dodgeball, as you know, is a fan favorite. So
well, that's redundant, Matthew. I mean, when is dodgeball not epic? You know what I'm saying? I mean, not to nitpick here, but
great point, Rich. Great point.
Yeah. By the way, and this is kind of like the Olympics, right? It's as live. It's we just got to keep the results hidden, like the figure skating that we're going to have soon. Right, Matthew?
Well, it's not. I don't know if it's a secret because I'm actually standing on the field where we just finished up the competition. But there were people here, So there's just very similar to the Olympics. Very similar. There was, we had a crowd of about 800 of the most rambunctious fans we could find, and they witnessed it, so they saw it. The players, I'm sure, were tweeting it.
Yeah.
Storying it and all that kind of stuff.
How is it different from the Hawaii days when I was covering it and you were playing in it? How is this different in Florida than the players all hanging out in Hawaii together?
So, not to give too many secrets away about the old Pro Bowls, but basically what it was one pool, at the Iolani there, and all the players hanging out around the bar the entire time.
Yes.
This is Orlando. We're close to Disney World. This is a family trip for all these guys. And instead, what you see like Drew Brees out at practice with, his two oldest boys are out there at practice the whole time. A lot of the families are out at practice. And as soon as practice is over, instead of guys, going to get a tea time, they're off to the parks. They're hitting Space Mountain and Magic Kingdom and all that kind of stuff. So I'd say it's just a more family-friendly atmosphere. And then, some of the young guys in the Pro Bowl shoot their kids themselves. They're excited to go on the rides. And that's, I'd say that's probably the biggest difference that you see.
Okay. I do remember one time showing up to the Pro Bowl one year at that pool bar, and everyone's having fun, with the exception of one guy, Chris Brockman, who you might know this person as your long lost brother since you're the fourth
Yes.
You're the fourth Hasselbeck.
We're a handsome bunch.
Yeah. Somebody came up to me all upset over the fact that NFL Total Access was not covering the officiating of the Super Bowl that had just ended. Do you remember that, Matthew? Do you remember that moment around the pool bar where you accosted somebody poolside?
I was one of those guys at the bar having too many Mai Tais. Yeah, man, I was upset. I watched NFL Total Access right after the Super Bowl, and there wasn't even a mention of certain things that I wanted mentioned. But you know what? That was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right after I lost the Super Bowl. So by Thursday, Friday, I kind of came around, made some friends, and, got past it a little bit. But yeah, I remember.
You were loosening up. You were loosening up at some point.
Took some names.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, Brockman was there.
No, he was definitely not there at the time.
That's right. No, Matt and I was there to comfort him.
He was not there.
My brother in his time.
Now, is it true you once passed yourself off as Matthew's brother?
Yeah, this was
with Matthew's help at a post ESPYs party. Is that actually happened?
Me and your brother Nate convinced Sage Steele for about 5 minutes that I was the fourth Hasselbeck brother. Sage was so mad that we had never met before, and then we let her in on the secret, and she was not pleased.
Brockman, I believe Sage brought that up to me. I was at a surprise birthday for her, actually, last year in Mexico City. We were doing a game down there and just happened to time up. And she's like, I got to tell you this story. One time, this guy acted like he was your brother. He was with your other brother. I was like, oh, I know that guy.
Good times.
Yeah, good times indeed.
times, yeah.
Matthew Hasselbeck joining us from the Pro Bowl here on the Rich Eisen Show. All right, well, what else should I ask you about this? You tell me what's going on down there because, you know, I mean, the players, do they still treat it this way in the fact that third quarter it begins to kick in, that you get more money for winning than losing, and then suddenly you ball out in the fourth quarter? Is that the same thing still now?
Did you just ask me what should I ask you?
Yes,
Come on, Rich. Did you learn that from Jimmy Kimmel? I know you're big time now.
Well, I mean, about the Pro Bowl, I mean, you know, it's not like we're going to rip the lid off here.
All right.
It's not like I'm Bob Lee outside the lines here, you know? I mean,
let me do your job for you. Here's what you need to know, okay?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you some good stuff about the Pro Bowl.
Yes.
Number one, we could get terrible weather. There's a chance we have a lightning delay.
Ooh.
Everyone's freaking out about that a little bit.
Okay.
So we have contingency plans in place. Another thing, all 6 quarterbacks will be mic'd up for the game, which is kind of nice. Takes you right inside the huddle. Ben Roethlisberger, Derek Carr, Alex Smith, Drew Brees. You know, I'm leaving guys out, but everybody will be mic'd up.
Okay.
You got the Saints coaching staff coaching one side and the Steelers coaching staff coaching the other, so you'll get to hear their plays. Sean Payton told me, he's like, listen, we call plays a certain way. We might call it, you know, hound to why flutie. Well, you're not going to know what that means, and quite honestly, these guys on the other team, they're not going to know what that means. So we're going to, you know, build out the play call just a little bit so you can maybe understand more of what we're going to say, okay, we got hound to, Z scissors, X dagger, fullback flat, so that you at home maybe could understand where the ball might be going on the play.
Okay.
You know, things like that. I think you don't get that in a normal football game. You know, the players will also have their phones on the sidelines. There'll be player interviews during the game. Obviously, the celebrations, guys are talking about, you know, some new creative things they can do that way. But I do think it'll be an exciting game. It'll definitely be a different game. And like I said, the weather could be treacherous.
And then, of course, the expert analysis in the booth of John Gruden's replacement, right? Are we breaking news here, Matthew? Should we break news here right now?
Well, I am filling in for Coach Gruden, and yesterday I filled in for him, coaching up Derek Carr.
Look
Let me coach you up here, kid. I got some ideas for you, and you know, it was interesting. Derek Carr and Jared Goff, they were talking about, you know, the coaches that, you know, one coach is going from the LA Rams, moving up to Oakland. They're talking about these different coaches that they will now have in common, and it's just kind of fun to see the young guys, the next generation of young quarterbacks, like build these relationships, get to know each other, and Alex Smith, a guy that I think is underrated and I have a tremendous amount of respect for. You know, just even the way that he's kind of leading those guys and you know, taking them under his wing here at the Pro Bowl. It's pretty neat to see, and I get to call this Pro Bowl. I'm fired up. It's not a Monday Night Football game. It's just a Pro Bowl game.
Okay.
But I'm fired up about it just the same. It's fun to hang out with all these guys.
That said, do you have your version of the grinder? What's Hasselbeck's what?
Hoagie. Hasselbeck's hoagie.
I'm not doing any. I'm not trying to be anybody else. I'm just gonna have fun and be myself.
Yeah, but that is your.
That's perfect.
Come on, you gotta have something.
Massachusetts, they
Hoagies
call it
and
hoagies.
Come on.
Hoagies and grinders.
Yeah.
Ball
Get Adam
sandwich.
Sandler to cover it, maybe.
That's right. Sloppy Joe's. Matt gets it.
I like it. You're
Come
gonna
on.
love dodgeball. I think you guys will like my call.
Okay.
Of dodgeball tonight. There's some subtle references in there. I can't confirm or deny, but you know, there's going to be some good stuff in there. The 5 keys, the 5 Ds of dodgeball will be referenced. It'll be good stuff.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Can we give you a phrase to drop during the Pro Bowl?
Yeah. I'm all ears.
Okay. So when you do like listen in on something, okay? When you do listen in on a play call, you listen in on a microphone, you come back and you say, you know what that is, and then you fill in the next finish of the sentence with the name of your favorite book. What's the title of your favorite book, Matthew?
Rich, I can't remember the title of your book.
It's called Total Access. Total Access.
Total Access.
That's
I was
total.
going to say Run, Rich, Run, but that was
No, that's Total Access for you. By the way, one year I come.
Wow.
The year after he laid into me because I was representative of all things Bill Levy after that Super Bowl.
Of course.
To him, Matthew, this is great. I show up. He's poolside with his feet up like Joe Namath poolside, reading my book.
It's true. True story.
Because you like the pictures, as you said.
Big pictures, captions. I like that. In fact, I don't know if you remember this, Rich.
Yeah.
It was you, me, and the commissioner, Roger Goodell.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, Raj, have you read Rich's book yet? It's a great read. He goes, no, I haven't. You got all embarrassed. You blushed, and I was surprised you blushed, Rich. Surprised.
You know, sometimes when I get that curveball snapped at me, I just look at it just spin in the zone. Unfortunately, sometimes, Matthew, that's what happened to me. You know,
Okay.
Hey, look, have a great cast. And just I'm going to drop a breadcrumb. You shot something for the show recently that's going to be airing next week. So
I did.
Yes, you did. So that's going to be airing next week, and it's hilarious, and I appreciate it in advance.
Well, always a pleasure, Rich.
Likewise.
I'm looking forward to it.
You got it.
I've been struck by lightning, so hopefully no lightning strikes tonight. And that I don't recommend that. I don't wish that on anybody, but it happens.
Okay.
So hopefully it doesn't happen on game day. But still,
Exactly.
challenge, man. Tune in. It'll be fun.
Tonight at 9 Eastern, and then again on Sunday. That's total access for you, just like
That's
that.
total access for you, Rich.
That's it. Well, you don't have to drop Rich. That I don't want any fingerprints on this, Matthew. Okay? That's total access for you. And then, hey, the MVP is Hasselbeck's hoagie. That's it. Come on.
I like it.
It's genius.
I like it.
Take care of yourself, Matthew.
I'm going to go practice in the mirror. Thanks, guys.
See you, buddy.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.